So, first of all, let me share its effect. It's a situation we are in, so no excuse, no argue. 100% of all today's existing methods of attacks use a stolen credential. You know what is password, SSH keys, digital certificates. So nobody can go into your enterprise or cloud environment with no password, no SSH key, no digital certificate. So doesn't matter which type of the system or which type of environment, where is in cloud, on-premise, in industrial control systems, SCADA, or it's just a traditional information systems, everywhere, every system has the privileged accounts. Privileged means root for Nix systems, administrator for Win system, any business application, any operational system, it's everywhere. So who can manage them manually? Nobody. What types of the traditional security software or hardware can help with them? I don't think that's anything. We need to use the spatial approach, spatial concept, spatial paradigm about how to deal with. So, independently, as an external or internal intruder, try to reach your system first that he needs as it to get the minimal privileges. Minimal privileges is not enough to put malware into the system, to leave any step into the system. As many approaches, many attempts how to escalate these minimal privileges. Just a few samples. From the machine, which is just a laptop of the regular business user, an attacker can reach your Active Directory controller within 15 seconds with no special hackers tools, with no special software. If the attacker raises golden ticket for Kerberos, it's within 2 minutes all Active Directory system will be down. How many times you need to restore to make it up again? From 3 to 5 days, depending on the organization, business processes, maintenance level, SLA, and others. So please take into consideration 2 things. First one, initial approach to get the minimal privileges. The second one is how to these privileges can be got and evaluated. So sometimes we forget about that privileged account is everywhere, and if attacker took some of them, he can get the access to everywhere, to all your systems, including the core systems, including in infrastructure, including the sensitive files, everywhere and from everywhere. So we have to think about the privileged accounts. So it's from the report, and there are the sources below, that the most protected system in the world has just one vulnerability. It's the credentials. So it means then the others, of course, has the same vulnerability. So what Cyberark do? Cyberark tries to, first of all, stop the attacker from the initial privileges, and after that not to let him to escalate these privileges. So it's special security level which of course can't replace any traditional security tools and means, but it's additional layer which can work with both internal controls, perimeter controls, and monitoring systems. So what is privileged accounts and where they are? First of all, you know that it's shared accounts. Some people in your organization outsourcers, support teams, and others can use just one account for all their actions. Second, sometimes, or maybe in the most sensitive case, we forget about that application also has privileged accounts. Doesn't matter which application, doesn't matter which database, but each of them has privileged accounts. Also, the third-party remote users who works from other cities, from other geographical positions, locations, but touch your system also via VPN, has a privileged accounts because it should be reached to your core system, to your service inside the network. It's opened via DMZ, and if the attacker hiding under the remote user, he can get the privilege inside your networks. Also, we need to remember about the business users. For example, you might remember the Carbanak, Alunak. It's most important, most famous cases when the attackers stole a lot of monies from the huge banks of the world. And of course, social networks. Because of some reputation risk of our organization depends on what is in our social networks as the virtual face of the organization. So where Cyberark software can be applied? I think everywhere. It doesn't matter for what purpose. Is it to against advanced persistent threats or to feed the compliance? To comply with the regulation in enterprise system, in industrial control system, or in clouds. Cyberark is a software. We have a general infrastructure used for all our solutions and a lot of functionality modules which can give you different functionality depending on your task needs and the priorities. So, I'm awfully sorry. So just two samples about which modules can be used. What is the most famous of them? So Enterprise Password Vault. Enterprise Password Vault is the highly protected platform where all credentials of organization can be stored and used in secure manner. So on the right side of the slide, there is the assets of organization we'd like to protect. On the left side is the host from which our potential attacker can try to get access. So let's think that these privileged users can be, again, the outsourcers, internal administrator, business application, more. It doesn't mean that we can't trust our employee, but it means that our employee, our IT staff who is loyal to the company can be replaced virtually with the attacker. So if any request exists to get an access to the network, to the sensitive information, to the sensitive servers and network devices, Cyberark is a front access portal to check the identity again, even if the users also authorize it in operational systems. If the authentication is okay, Cyberark opens a special dashboard where all resources assigned to these particular users listed. It means that administrator can't get access to any machine in the network, but only those that are listed and predefined for him. When the component of Cyberark understands who is working now and what he's like to do, he sends a request to the protected digital vault to get the dynamic password. It's not the static password which we use like stickers on the wall, like a lot of details in our mind, like a lot of password in XLS or KeePass. Doesn't matter. A lot of credentials can be put and used from the digital vault. And after that, the password not go to the machine of the administrator, but to the target system itself. It means that nobody can steal it, Nobody can connect to the protected systems physically with a console, and even if anybody would like to try and reach the target protected system, he can't do it because of nobody knows the password which used for this particular session. The same situation with the SSH key. You know that in NIX systems where SSH protocol used for servers, for network devices, for telecom devices, the SSH use the pair of keys instead of the password and log on. So the same situation. If anybody steal the private key, automatically he can get the access to all public key in the environment. To avoid this situation, we can put the private key into the vault and to do the workflow with a lot of limitation and controls for those who'd like to get this key. Next one. So if we think about what next after we grant the access, after we understand who is working now, we need to have a lot of details how to prove, how to do forensics in case if these particular users do any harm for the organization. So for that, we use the same infrastructure but with additional server we named as a jump server. Jump server is a terminal server which stops the session directly to the enterprise asset and to establish the additional session which is fully controlled. So when any action done in the session, the jump server can record all the keystrokes, all the commands sent to the system, all action of the privileged account. And what is most important, all this data, all logs, all video recording and audit trails put into protected area digital vault, not to third-party database, not to the hard disk, not to the operational system, which can be where they can be erased. What's about the application? So we met a lot of cases when the attacker tried to be hiding under the business application. SAP, Oracle, IBM, ERP, a lot of good and very useful enterprise application, and the privileged account can be used by the attacker, and in this case the configure file where the static password or each hash exists can be stolen by the attacker. In this case, you will see on all controls of security that it's a legitimate action, but it will be the hacker. So to avoid this situation, we can do the following. Instead of the static password, which is located on configure file, we can do it dynamically. We can create the new password for each session to the application. It's just with the digital vault. So we recall the function to create the password for this one. But before that, Cyberark can prove the trust between two applications, can authenticate, and more, we can do the strong authentication between applications, not between the person and system, but between two systems. For the case, if we are not about the gateway, about the network protection, but about the standalone server or machine, we can do the same with a special provider. We can restrict some actions of the potential attacker with the special agent, which can be defined with the policy, and if this machine is offline, the last updated policy will be applied and enforced. So for a NIX system, for example, it can be white and black lists where we can restrict or allow some specific commands. For Microsoft Windows, we can create white, black and gray list not to do the application control like sandbox. but to restrict the system process on the level of the system driver to stop any activity which is suspicious. In case if we find something that Cyberark doesn't know what is it, we can send it to analyze by checkpoint, sandblast, to other vendors, to other third-party database where they can be exploited and analyzed. So we can provide this restriction for local administrator, for local Cisco enable, for DBA, for any platform, for any protocols. So, and at the last, Cyberark works with a lot of technological partners. We like CM system and can work bidirectionally. So, but we have the special analytics tool which can be used by CM or to be fed by CM. So it named PTA. So PTA is a special set of algorithms which, based on the statistic of each privileged users, creates the digital profile, digital snap of the common behavior of the user. In case if there are any anomaly which is not fit to the profile, or if CM feeds our PTA with a special log which can be interpreted as a suspicious, we can send the alert to the ITS team or to IT on duty to analyze the situation. It doesn't mean that we work like CM. We can add the special value to the existing CM or to the implemented Cyberark system. In any case, we'll got if this anomaly is okay or if the potential threat that should be analyzed by the security team. So, besides the financial industry, where Cyberark has more than 65% of the customer, our solution is very famous and highly used for the industrial systems. It's energetic, it's transport, it's oil and gas, and many, many more. So why? Because of in the industrial control systems there are the highly restricted rule that nobody, no system, no direct connection to the technological area. But it's in perfect world. In our world, the support engineer or the vendor who provides the SCADA system manually touched the core of the system, which is risky for us. So instead of traditional approach and not to allow anybody to get access from the untrusted network to the SCADA, we can use Cyberark as the air gap between the untrusted network and the SCADA itself. So in this case, you will have a flexible, good approach how to maintain the system without any risk, because our solution can't allow any malicious code go from the machine where administrator locate and work to the target system, which is protected. So it works like that. Okay, so Telegroup is our partner here, and if you're interested in the technology of Cyberark, we can provide you with a special free tool which can help you to analyze your system and show you the risk where you are. And more, we'll provide you with the big report which your IT staff can be used without Cyberark, but to fix some breaches in your systems. The name is DNA, Discovery and Audit. It's portable utility. You can use anywhere, anytime, and to get 3 types of report. One report is the executive summary, very short, with the most important thing about what DNA found. The second one is the Excel sheet where all accounts found will be listed, and you can manually try to fix them. And the third one is a diagram where we can show you how attacker can reach your sensitive servers in some hops, from which machine and how to build his attack vector. So, summarizing, the privileged account security is not the very new thing in the world. But only 2 years ago, the big three analytics like IDC, Gartner, and others issued their first reports. For today, we have about 40 companies on the marketplace who said, we can help you with the privileged accounts, but please think smart and try to get proved the announcement within a proof of concept. So which 3 things we recommend you to think about? First of all, it's to protect your credentials. How it's protected, how it's secured, where they are placed, and all. Second one is to isolate session, isolate administrator or privileged business user and others who is potential attacker from the sensitive environment, from the sensitive organization assets. And the third one is to use continuously monitoring. Something which helps you to understand, not to put anybody, dedicated engineer who will sit in front of the dashboard every day, but to think about what if some alerts comes and how to deal with. So about Cyberark, we are 17 years old. All this time we're working only on the privileged account security. We are financially strong company. We have today more than 2,500 corporate agreement hours globe. So we was the first who provide the first analytics, first enterprise password vault, first PSM and other products. So according to the IDC of last year, the Cyberark is a big gorilla on the market. So if you think about the privileged accounts, please ask us or Telegroup. So this is the report of IDC, the only 11 vendors listed, but Cyberark is the most trusted expert. Thank you very much for your time, for your attention. I'm open for the question within the next couple of minutes. Thank you.